Welcome into the latest edition of Before Floor, an extension of the Five on the Floor podcast. I am Greg Sylvander, getting you ready for Miami Heat at Houston Rockets, the first of a 7-game West Coast trip. So to get you ready for this action tonight that actually is on national TV, we got all of the eyeballs on us. We have our fearless producer right above me, Alejandro. We have three-piece combo, Jonathan Ramlakan, and above me, Brady Hawk as well. Ethan is not going to join us. Ethan is putting out fires. We'll say that. And so let's just dive right into this game. It's the first one of the road trip. I think as we look at the 7 games, to me, this is one that I'm like, yo, the Heat got to get this. Like, when you look at the other teams that they're going to face, this is a winnable game. And as I was looking at Houston recently, they've been a really good defensive team all year. I think they're 4th in defensive rating. But the last couple games, they've been getting scored on. I think Charlotte dropped 130 on them. They've had 250 points scored them 2 games in a row. Jonathan, I'll go to you. Do you think that the Heat have an opportunity to get their offense going tonight based off of Houston's recent defensive struggles?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they have a few good defensive weapons, but they're not really good as a unit. And with Christian Wood being out, that's a big hole in the middle as well. Boogie's kind of slow-feeded, especially coming off that injury. So I feel like this is a team that we can really start getting our defense going with a little bit. You have a John Wall coming off a little bit of an injury, still kind of slow. Eric Gordon is not the best defensively. So we have a couple of people that we can target. And I think Duncan can have these old guys running around and finally get a good game going for him. And when Duncan starts going, the whole game opens up. So I feel like this could be a game where we finally see the Heat offense kind of maximized.
Maximized. That is the term that we've been seeing Jimmy Butler playing at. And that, he's been on a roll since he's been back, filling up the stat sheet. Brady, you've broke it down in a million ways on the website. Do you expect Jimmy to have to do the same kind of heavy lifting we've seen via Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson stretch that allows him to take the foot off the gas pedal?
Go ahead, Brady.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I think with what he was going towards, Jimmy Butler doing the heavy lifting, that's not what you want to happen, but it's going to have to happen. I think some nights, as we've seen lately, you're going to want Bam to step up some nights. You're going to want, right now, you don't know how long Goran's going to be out. And as long as Goran's out, you're going to need Jimmy to be Jimmy, the Jimmy that he is. As you see, when he comes out most nights, when Goran's healthy, Goran's the guy that, when they're going through a tough stretch, he hits a shot that gets them going. He's kind of the guy, the glue when Jimmy goes to the sideline. And now with him out, they don't really have a consistent guy that they're going to trust when he exits. So they might need another guy to fill that hole. But if it doesn't, it just means more on Jimmy's plate. As we saw the other night, when he exited, everything kind of went downhill. He came back in and changed everything. So his presence just changes everything. I don't know if he's going to have to, get to the line 16 times, which would obviously help a lot. But just his presence, getting other guys involved, him driving to the basket, getting other guys open on the perimeter, I think just helps in its own.
You talk about presence. The presence of Mo Harkless is now upon us again. Jonathan, can Mo Harkless contribute anything? Can he become a rotation player? I mean, is there any path forward with Mo Harkless as a contributor?
Yeah, I can't remember which game it is off the top of my head, but there was one time where Coach used him at the top of the 2-3 zone, and it worked really effectively. And he's not a guy that can guard fours. We were kind of thinking about him coming in, replacing Jay Crowder, filling that hole. He's not a Jay Crowder replacement. You know what I mean? He's more of a lanky defensive guy who can stick on the wings and help out on smaller wing players. So I feel like if we go to like a 2-3 zone, we can see him at least being used a little bit, as a defender. But outside of that, maybe 1 or 2 threes, or he could be the guy that comes in and hit a couple off the bench. And we just, this would be his coming out party. But I feel like he could do a little bit defensively, and that's how we'll probably get the most out of him.
Okay, I think we lost Greg.
Or he's really tired.
Okay, so let's read some of the comments here. as we wait for Greg to come back and we can comment some of the things that the guys are saying here. So, okay, we have the opportunity to see Victor Oladipo tonight. Flirting game for the Heat, having Oladipo in the Houston Rockets, maybe. Kanan having a good game tonight. PJ Tucker, that's another name that's been sounding a lot here in pre-games. You're gonna lock down Bam. Let's talk a little bit about this. Bam has been struggling a lot in the last games, right? I saw him against the Knicks, and again he looked like another guy that shouldn't been playing right with him was playing right with him, and actually looked better than Bam. Do you think that's going to happen tonight with PJ Tucker?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen in a sense that he's not going to be the scorer that they know that Bam is. Lately, PJ Tucker hasn't been very involved offensively. He's just the guy that does a lot of things impact wise, and that's kind of why Miami, that's kind of why he's tied in with Miami, because they could use a guy like that. So I don't think it's matchup wise, I don't think it's anything to worry about. But to talk about Bam's struggles, I think what we're seeing with him getting to the free throw line is just that's him learning from Jimmy. Even when I asked him after the game the other day, he brought up, when I asked him about Jimmy, he said he's kind of taught him to attack, to get to the line, and to find times in the game where they're in the bonus, because it's something you just don't play with in the flow like as a young guy. So seeing him do that, I think is very promising for him and his growth. But once he gets scoring again in a consistent manner, just scoring at the basket or getting those jumpers going again is when guys will fans will start to relax a little bit.
Yeah, we see a lot of games when Bam doesn't seem to have a great game, but he ends up somehow with 15 to 20 points anyhow. So yeah. I guess it's working. How do you feel about this matchup, Jonathan?
I feel pretty good. If I'm right, Christian Wood is out. So with no Christian Wood in there, I feel like there's not much of a defensive presence that can really hold Bam back and really lock him down. We've seen him struggle against maybe like lengthier, taller defenders sometimes that can hold down, at least muscle him out. But, with DeMarcus Cousins, he's not a guy that's nearly as fast. So it's all going to be really up to Bam if he wants to be the guy and start taking it to the hole a little more. And against a team that's smaller, like the Houston Rockets, that was built around James Harden and kind of, been molded into this team what it is now, I feel like this is a team where Bam can go in, dominate the paint if he so wants to.
Right. Last game, Kelly Olynyk was one of the heroes, right? We didn't expect his contribution, and he was one of the guys that with all his threes, I think he was 6 for 8. He saved the team from another tough loss at home. How do you feel about tonight's matchup for Kelly Olynyk? Is he going to be a factor tonight, or how do you feel about it?
Well, there's two Kelly Olynyks. I think everybody it's pretty clear. You're either gonna get the Kelly Olynyk that doesn't miss, or the one that's gonna shoot up a lot of threes and not make one. It's something I've realized is that his first 1 or 2 shots are the most important shots of the game for him. If he makes one early, you'll kind of know in the direction he's going that he's gonna have a good game. But if he's early in the first quarter shoots up, he's 0 for 2 from 3, you kind of know the direction that he's going. So I think that's something you could. A game-by-game basis, there's at least consistency that, early on, the way he's going to trend. But, it's so hard to guess heading into a game with Kelly Olynyk because you really just don't know who you're going to get.
Right. And how do you feel about it, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, Brady said it perfectly. You really don't know which one of the two Kelly Olynyks you're going to get any given night. But it, like you said, it's a good thing that we know what direction he'll trend in early. You know what I mean? And over the last couple of weeks, he's been shooting over 40% on his three-point shot. So he's been helping the team a little bit. Obviously, we don't want him to be the guy that's taking the shots over Bam. And we've seen Bam pass it out to him and let Kelly Olynyk take more shots than him in a quarter, and that just shouldn't be happening. But he can be a guy that can really fit in this offense, help stretch out the floor, and he has some good, nifty moves around the rim as well. So if he can get a couple inside and help move that inside-out offense, he could be a guy that helps us, especially with his three-point shooting, if he gets it going.
Yeah, and talking about three-point shooting, Duncan Robinson really struggled against the Knicks. And I was looking at it. I had the opportunity to be there at the American Airlines Arena. And you look at him, and he's just running all over the place trying to find a spot. It's been hard for him this season to actually get going. And that's something that Miami Heat's missing a lot this season. What type of adjustment do you think, or what can he make different from what he's doing right now, Brady?
Yeah, I discussed this in an article yesterday that this narrative that, when Duncan Robinson's not shooting threes and not making threes, that he's useless offensively is completely false. If you look at it, what he does for the offense, just off-ball screening, getting Bam in his positions, getting everybody in their positions, it changes their offense, and that's why offensive rating goes through the roof, not just because of his shooting. But I do think when you're talking about things he can change, some things that just noticing, watching, is that with defenders flying out at him, obviously, foul calls and Duncan Robinson don't go hand in hand, but, he's got to utilize, doing that, jumping into people, drawing contact on shots, because if you start doing that, then a defender has to, not be able to blanket you as much. And that's what he needs. He's not getting a lot of foul calls like that, but if he does, I think that changes a lot for him. But there's not much else he can do. Every offensive possession is basically being run dribble handoffs at him. He's got a hand in his face every shot. But the thing is, there was a couple late in the fourth that were probably two of them that were open. You're not going to worry about Duncan Robinson missing a three very long. That's not going to be, a worry in your mind. He's going to start hitting those, and he's going to start, figuring stuff out offensively with guys in his face too. Because, looking at his numbers, even he was 3.7 3-point makes for 8.3 attempts. This year, he's 3.3 makes for 8.3 attempts. He's taking the same attempts. His makes are down slightly, and you'd think they're down a lot more by the way, people are discussing him this season.
Yeah, it's part of making an adjustment, right? The league already knows who Duncan Robinson is, and now it's time for him to actually make an adjustment. At what point do we worry about this, Jonathan? Are we worried about Duncan Robinson in the starting lineup, or should we not worry about that at this point?
Yeah, I think you'd worry about it if he really just falls off a cliff. Like Brady said, he's really the guy that makes everybody get into position in the offense. And although he's not a superstar, he has superstar gravity. And the way he bends the defense and forces defense to collapse his way just helps open things up for Bam and Jimmy, especially being two non-3-point shooters. So I feel like he'll get his shots up no matter what, because down the line, if they try to overdo an overcover on him, it's going to be Bam and Jimmy that are going to be getting those open and those better looks. So he's going to get his looks. I feel like we're kind of stressing a little bit because we know what he can be. And we also know that his free agency is coming up. And a couple of guys like Joe Harris, Davis Bertans got $80 million. They got $20 million a year. So now we're kind of weighing, should we be paying this guy the $20 million? That's kind of what we're thinking of him as a $20 million guy. So that's kind of why we're rating him and kind of wanting him to live up to more expectations, because that's the money we're going to have to pay him soon anyways.
Yeah, it seems like, Ethan has talked about it a couple of times, that the Miami Heat, it's going to sign him and they're going to give him his money whenever the time comes. But we've seen it we saw it with Tyler Hero. They gave him the starting spot, and then Eric Spoelstra saw what happened and he made the adjustment. We know Spoelstra is one of those that likes to experiment with different things. So why not at some point trying to mix it up a little bit and maybe give Duncan a little bit more of a run with the second units of every other team, right? That could be a little bit of a help. What do you think, Brady?
Well, I think that if he's going to thrive in any situation, it's going to be with the starters, because it takes a little bit off of him when he plays with a guy like Jimmy, who has to, the defense has to collapse every time he drives to the basket. It helps him a bit more. And if he's playing with a second unit, they're going to be even more tied in on him. So I don't know if that helps him with his shot wise. Maybe there's different positioning that they could do, but I don't see him leaving the starting lineup in any situation. I think he's there to stay because, like I said, he's still, even if he's not attempting 1-3, he opens everything else up for everybody else.
Right. And talking about people that left the starting lineup, Tyler Hero last game made 7 points, I think, in the last couple of minutes. Were really important, including that three that gave the Miami Heat a 3-point lead late in the game, I think, going into the last minute. I guess we have to agree this is the best thing that they can do with Tyler Hero, right? Having him coming from the bench with the second unit and actually leading that team, and not exactly the first team. Too many turnovers, right? Like it didn't feel like I know some guys were injured, but it just, they're still trying to figure out the flow of the game. You see it once you can see it on TV, but when you go to the stadium, you actually get to see it a little bit more on detail, and you're like, okay, this offense is just not fluid right now. So how do you feel about Tyler Hero now coming from the bench?
Yeah, I feel like it's really helping him out. and it clarifies a lot of things in the offense. When he was starting, we were kind of wanting him to be like this point guard scorer hybrid, and it was kind of making him overthink. And when he's thinking too hard, then that's when he's really not at his best. When he's just kind of doing his thing, one dribble pull-ups, everything like that, that's when Tyler Hero's at his best. So when he's able to come off the bench and he comes off with a guy like Iggy, who's kind of another hybrid point guard, he doesn't have to come out and force things, and he doesn't have to come out and try to make things happen for anybody else. He can come in with whoever's on the floor, and he knows he's going to be instant offense. And if somebody else happens to open up, that's just the read that he's starting to learn how to make, is just making the pass to the right man. And we've seen it a couple of times, to a Gabe Vincent 3 or to inside to Bam. He's starting to learn how to make those passes a little bit better. And this will only improve when Goran Dragic comes back, because then we're going to have a really, really great backcourt coming off the bench, really a backcourt that can be starting for a lot of teams in this league. And that could be something that'll help us, because you remember last year, our bench unit was a monster last year, and this year our bench has been trash, especially against the Knicks. I think we got scored like 42-18 or 42-20, and Hero had 14 of those points. So we can't have that discrepancy in the bench anymore. And if Hero and Dragic come off the bench and another kind of de facto point guard, Andre Iguodala, we can have a really strong bench unit moving forward.
Yeah, that bench unit, I was there, and that was terrible. They were winning by like 10 points, and then they ended up at some point in the second quarter, they were down by 12. And at the end, they kind of had a little run, and they finished that first half winning. But it was a struggle to watch. So, all right, guys, this is time to pick what's going to happen tonight. And for all of you that are watching right now, we want to tell you to please go to PrizePicks.com. Make your picks for tonight. I picked Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry in a single stat, so you guys can go ahead and register there using the code 5 FIVE 5, and they're gonna match up your deposit 100% there in Prize Picks. So, Brady, what's your prize pick of the night? Who's gonna win tonight, Miami Heat or Houston Rockets?
Yeah, I think Greg said it best. This is a game they should win because you're starting the road trip. There's gonna be some tough games in there. They need to get this one. So I think they have a chance. Like you mentioned before, Wall coming back from a short little injury. They still have Christian Wood out. Obviously, Miami's still without Goran, but I think if they have a little bit of help for Jimmy, I think if Bam steps up, that's what I'm kind of expecting tonight. I think we're going to see a better Bam scoring wise. And if you can continue to get to the line and control the pacing as they did against that New York team, that can kind of be the identity that Eric Spoelstra constantly talks about.
What about you, Jonathan? How do you feel about tonight?
I feel pretty good. They're not a crazy big team, which we struggle against a lot, especially in the offensive glass, points in the paint. And they have a lot of old guys, maybe outside of Victor Oladipo. You got a couple of old guys in that starting unit, and I feel like we might be a little too fast for them. And this is a game where we can have the ball moving faster than the players, and we can find open shots. So I feel like this could be the first blowout of the season where we see 3 guys score 20 points with like Jimmy, Bam, and Duncan going off all for 20 and having one of those really, really good signature wins. I think this might be the first really good win that we might have this season.
Hopefully that's the case. And you guys always remember, we are going to be here right after the game for the post-game show. It depends on what happens. If we'll see the happy version of Jonathan, Royal, Ricky, all of the guys that come after, or if we were going to see the mad version of Royal as well, Christian, who else was there? Adam. He loves every time the Miami Heat loses, he goes there and has fun. So there's a point for everybody there. So hopefully you guys enjoy the game, and we're going to be back right after the game, as I said. Thank you guys for all your comments. We're going to go ahead and listen to what Eric Spoelstra said in the media presentation today right before the game. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Brady, for being here, and we'll see you later or tomorrow in case of Brady. Brady's going to start writing the article. He knows already what's going to happen, so he starts writing the article as soon as the game starts. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Brady, and we're going to listen to Eric Spoelstra now here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel.
Mute your line. There you go.
Eric, I know Mo is coming back tonight, or at least available tonight. How much more does that add to your mix? And have there been times over this time when he's been out where you even said to yourself, hey, Mo could have helped here, there, or there?
He definitely adds. He's a veteran two-way player. And, right before he got hurt, he actually had some good moments where I think he was starting to get in a better rhythm and more comfortable in our program. So it's great to have him on this road trip.
Is he the kind of player that maybe in end game situations when you're looking for one more defensive presence and you have the timeout situation that he could be particularly helpful in that circumstance? Thank you.
Yeah, I think because of his experience in the league, you can use him in those kind of circumstances. And he's already shown, over the course of his career, his ability. He has an ability to guard multiple positions.
Up next, we have Jason Jackson.
Coach, good to see you. Just talked to Coach Saltes about 20 years ago when you guys were all advanced scouts that are all head coaches now. How happy are you that after 19 years he has this opportunity? He, by the way, was extremely complimentary of the position you're in and the things that you're doing as well. But it's just got to be neat to see, right?
Stephen has really earned this, and he's grown up in this profession. I mean, he literally has gotten incredible experience, growing up, but then, really taking on the behind the scenes grinding positions where you really learn the league. And that's how he and I, got to know each other. It just seemed that Stephen, myself, and Steve Clifford were at always the same hotel, the same games, the same flights for 2 straight years. And so the 3 of us got to know each other very well. I'm a big fan of Stephen. I think he's a great basketball mind, teacher. He's got a great demeanor to coaching, a wealth of experience. And I think he's done a tremendous job in this season where there's been a lot of extraordinary circumstances for a coach to come into a program that was already established with a lot of different changes. And what he's done, I think, has brought great stability, to the program.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, that was Eric Spoelstra today, right before the game against the Houston Rockets, which is going to start here in about 30-some minutes, and it's going to be on national TV. So thank you guys for joining us. We're going to start reading some of you guys' comments here in a second, but first, we're going to leave you with the Biscayne Bay presentation because this is what's coming, the Biscayne Bay comment section. All right, so we are back here with the 5 Reasons pregame show before the Miami Heat facing the Houston Rockets. Since Greg had to leave, I had to stop putting your comments here on screen because I had to be the host. But now we're going to do a little bit of reading of you guys, what you guys were saying as we were talking about the pregame today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to scroll up all the way up until when I stop, and we're going to start reading some of you guys' comments. So thank you to Jennifer McPollan, who's always here watching the pregame show. This is a good vibes crew. Yes, we had the only positive guys today in the pregame show. So thank you for joining us. Jason Martinez saying the whole West going to give us problems. Yes, I think any team right now in the NBA is going to give the Miami Heat a little bit of trouble. So Christian Wood still out. Yes, that's a word out there. He's still out. Mo back any minutes. Yes, he should be getting some minutes tonight. Hopefully easing him. I mean, if the Miami Heat's winning by a lot of points, maybe getting more minutes, but hopefully getting him a lot of action tonight. It sucks that Duncan had more off games than good games this season. Yes, so far it's been the case. I mean, and in some of those games, Duncan Robinson was one of the only weapons the Miami Heat had. So other defenses kind of had the opportunity to focus more on him. And now that everybody's kind of getting back into action, into the roster, maybe we can see the best version of Duncan Robinson. Like Brady was saying in the last game against the Knicks, I was there. He missed a couple of open shots that in any other type of games he would have made. But I mean, it's a matter of feeling sometimes, and that happens. Okay, Heat winning tonight. Thank you. For friends, nothing but topics. Nobody else on this team can do what Jimmy does. Stan Galang, law of average will help out Dunk today. Dear poor floor attention tonight. What's faster, We know what's faster tonight. Duncan better go 7 from 9 on threes tonight. Well, we saw 6 for 8 by Olenek the other day, so why not Duncan Robinson having one of those nights? Is anyone else sick of this amount of zone defense? I mean, they're trying. What I saw the other day is that every time they go man to man, they really struggle because they can't keep up with the other teams. So every time somebody left open, and that's when other teams are actually having fun and really scoring a lot of points. So I don't know. If we're going to do a trade for a duel, I would prefer Lavin and Young versus Victor and Tucker. A good subject to discuss here in some other episode. Luis Santiago, thank you for your message. The Strus final let be loose tonight. Well, the other day he played a couple of minutes, but I don't think Strus is going to be or get a lot of minutes tonight. Watch Kelly will get 5 points tonight. I mean, it wouldn't be different, right? I mean, we've seen how many bad games Olenek has had, and last game was one of those that he was just special. He tired. Ricky, our friend Ricky, coming soon. No more Ethernet for me. Yes, Ricky's fixing his internet as well, and that's why he hasn't been here with us, but he will at some point. So happy to have you here, Ricky, even if it's just in the comments. If Duncan gets fried by Depot, he needs to be traded. I don't know. I wouldn't be so radical about it, but hopefully he has a good game. Hey, boys. Hey, man. How are you? Bam needs help in the paint. Today should be a good matchup for him. I don't think so. Bam will be aggressive tonight. He'll carry on from last game. Hopefully that's the case. No, Ethan Spain. We're just using the money for different things, I guess. Will this be a tryout game for the Heat's trade targets? I don't know. I think the Heats should focus on themselves right now, trying to get more wins and trying to get up in the standings. That should be the main objective of this team right now. Love me, all the beautiful brown boys on the 5. Yes, we're all here, man. Thank you for your support, I guess. Kalenik doesn't help Bam on the boards enough. I mean, that's a problem that Miami Heat has been having anyway. Even when Mayers was back here, the team, I mean, they just struggle there. It's one of the things that the team can be better at. Bang aggressive is a big must tonight. They go get rebounds and guard the rim. We'll see what happens. Bam don't help Bam on the boards when he switches everything. We should have signed Christian Wood. Heat should win tonight to keep the streak going to 4. Yes, this is the first winning streak of the night, of the season, so hopefully it keeps going, and this is the best opportunity they have to win 4 in a row. Bam is the only one that holds Bam back. Yes, I know. I feel like, I'm watching him live the other day. He was frustrated, against the Knicks. He wasn't really happy with his performance, some balls that didn't go in, some mid-range shots, some calls he didn't get. It was a little bit of everything. It wasn't his game, and it's just. But hopefully he continues to grow from that and makes it something positive for him in his career. So we'll see what happens. Rockets are a terrible rebounding team. When we win the glass, we typically win the game. I agree. Bam going to play a lot better tonight. Can we steal John Wall from the Rockets? These are grown men. Celebrity review. I feel like this is a hero game. Thank you, Make You Splash, for your comment. JJ Redick just said he wants to be traded to either the Knicks or Nets. JJ Redick, we have to be careful with that guy. Kalenik's no hero. I only know one white boy who's a hero on this team, Duncan Robinson. I agree. Make Your Splash. Tangalanga knows Kelly Olynyk gotta go while he has any value. Do the Heat ever have a 2-day break on the rest of the schedule? I'll have to check it out. Our friend is having fun with Ricky. Kelly's a lot like Duncan this year. Got to pray he hits his first couple. I don't mean it like a van. He's our friend Clutch coming and having fun here. Kelly's either going to be 1 of 8 from 3 or 3 of 8 from 3. Well, hopefully he's 6 for 8 again. Duncan doesn't play basketball anymore. He's just out there doing cardio. Well, the other day was... I'm not going to say it's funny, but it's because it was frustrating at some points. But I saw it like 3 or 4 times, and he was running right under the rim, and he was actually crashing with some of his teammates because he was just trying so hard to get away from his defender that it It was a little bit fun, I guess. Kendrick Nunn needs to take minutes away from Duncan. What do you guys think about this? Should Kendrick Nunn get more action or not? Ricky is saying Duncan's game has grown, even if his rebounding or boxing out ability hasn't. He's going for layups now these days, which helps when they try to run him off the 3-point line. Yes, and the other day we saw something that I didn't see before, which was faking and then running a little bit ahead and trying to get a basket closer to the rim. So hopefully that's something that they can add to his game. Duncan doing cardio still helps keep the paint more open for Bam and Jimmy. Yeah, right. That's a good point. And Brady was talking about it during the pregame. Christian, let's see. Let's trade Ethan for Deepo and Tucker. We got Alejandro. We don't need Ethan. Yes, let's talk to Pat Riley about this. We should. Yeah, I mean, Ethan is contract. I don't know when it expires, but it's a long-term contract, so I can stay here with you guys. I think we should trade Duncan while he still has some value. Do you think Tyler in starting lineup instead of Duncan is better? I don't know, man. Unless you're gonna have Duncan playing or Hero doing the same as Duncan is doing, we all know Hero can do a lot of more things than Duncan can. So I think they're a good balance whenever they're together. So I don't see one replacing the other kind of concept. But it could be something that Spoelstra looks at it. Why not? Trade Duncan for defense because we don't want to pay him because his contract is due. I think the Miami Heat's going to pay him. That's what Ethan Skolnick has been reporting all along this season. So this should be a bad game. Houston allows the fourth least 3-point attempts. What's Brady's prediction for Duncan tonight? Well, he said Duncan was going to have a good game tonight, so hopefully that's the case. Give Duncan the mid-level exception. That's it. Miami can find another Duncan. He's not as well-rounded as Hero. Duncan shooting 39.4% with Hero shooting 34.7%. It's only a 5% difference, and Duncan plays more. Hero can replace him in the lineup. This is something that's coming up a lot. I don't know. We'll see. I guess right now, Eric Spoelstra just figured out that Hero is better coming from the bench. So that's something that's probably going to stay that way for now, and then we'll see some changes or something. So we'll see what happens. Give Duncan the mid-level exemption. He says no. $20 million worth of one-trick pony just isn't worth it. Does Duncan qualify yet for veterans minimum? Be right back. Gonna Google it. Thank you, Ben. Tyler off the bench right now is sneaky smart. Yes, I think that's the best way they can use him right now. Duncan Robinson has become the Heat's version of Luke Longley. The way he plays lately, you play him out first 5, but not on the 4th. This is not new from Spoelstra. We've seen how he does this with the starting lineup. Some guys can start, but those are not the guys that necessarily get the most minutes during the game. So it's been a common theme. When Duncan starts hitting 45% of his threes again, a lot of you guys will be taking these comments back. Yeah, hopefully that's the case. I agree, Stanga. Hopefully Spo doesn't get stupid with his lineups tonight. I can't take my comments back. My legal team won't let me. Don't worry, Ben. We got you right here. 20 millions ain't worth a one-trick pony that doesn't close games. That's true. Even though the other day he almost closed, and at some point with everybody out, he had to close because we just didn't have anybody else to do it. 20 millions is too much for a guy that only does one thing. Duncan might have a good night tonight. He might be determined after a stinker like last game. Last game was rough. Does Kanan continue to start and once Goran and Bradley back? Probably not. Probably Bradley's going to take that spot, and Goran and Kendrick Nunn will come from the bench in the second unit. Fair enough. Heat in 6. Okay, so we start reading some of you guys' comments as we wait for the Miami Heat to publish their starting 5. Let me see. Let me check real quick here. I guess we have them. We have them right here. Give me a second, and I will put it right up. It's the same guys as we've seen in recent games. Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn. That's the starting 5 for tonight. Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn. That's going to be the starting 5 tonight against the Rockets. So let's read some of you guys' predictions for tonight. Anthony says Heat 112, Rockets 101. Heat W, our friend Kryptonite. Christian, again, thank you for your comments. Ben saying the Rockets are just going to crush the Miami Heat. He doesn't believe in the Heat. So maybe if you believe that, go ahead and go to Price Picks and get your 5 code, use your promo code 5 and get 100% match deposit. I love two-way players like Jimmy and Bam. I got Hero dropping 28, but I have the Rockets winning 122-110. Okay, we'll see what happens. 115-105 Heat win. Thank you, Kawhi. Straight face. Will Mo Carles do anything tonight? Well, he's probably going to get a couple of minutes here and there and help on defense. Then it's like that. Imagine Mo hits 5 threes tonight. It's always a Matt version. Jennifer was talking about this comment came with, we were talking about Royal. Yes, he's like that. We love him like that. So you'll learn. You'll learn how to love him, I guess. That's what's going to happen. Mo out, I think. No, Mo is back. He's going to be playing tonight. Royal be mad either way. Royal's different. Yes, he's just different. Let's say that he's just different. Heat 115, Rockets 100. Christian says Royal gonna be hey ho. Okay, give me a second here. Yes, going back, reading the last comments here. Jermaine says King, he's barely a one-way player. Trade Duncan, well, he's still shooting about 40%. His percentage sucks in the second game versus the same team. The team's making adjustment. You have the video of Royal going? No, we don't have it. But if you let me know in which video he did it, we should cut it. I can cut it out. I can edit it and have it here for every time we talk about it. Like in the playoffs, Duncan had more off games than good games in the playoffs. League is playing him better, and Duncan doesn't have a counter. Well, that's part of the adjustment that he has to make. When Duncan goes 4 for 10, sometimes we think he's wrong. Yes, and that's a 40% that we're asking for him. So yes, Jose, I agree with you. All the teams know who's Duncan now. Ban will be the held players when gain confidence testing. Thank you, Christian, for coming. I'm pretty sure we're going to win. Hopefully that's the case. Woohoo, I'm out of timeout. Christian, thank you. Thank you for coming back. Hero leading scoring tonight. None will cook Wall. Jose Mato said his team Alejandro. Thank you, Jose, for your support. How do Heat fans view LeBron James? Well, that's a discussion for another game. Whenever they face the Lakers, I guess. Duncan for Max is a good move. We'll still have good 3-pointers, and we'll also make a point guard in him. Think about it. Heat fans love LeBron. Duncan is unplayable when his shot isn't falling. Yeah, we know he struggles a little bit on defense too, and he doesn't get calls that other players do get in the NBA. So yeah, it's a little bit of struggle. Now Philly will take off with Duncan. Depending on who we get, right? 109, 101 Miami Heat. Some fire from here. Far or 5 for the code. Okay, so the code is 5 like this. Use the promo code 5. I'm going to write it down here. Promo code 5 in PricePicks.com and get a 100% match on your deposit. That's all you have to get. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here so you guys can actually see it written down. That's what you have to do to get your 100% match on your deposit. Tonight, I chose, you can play there. You can do either points, like just regular fantasy points, and that's a way you can play, or you can play also with single stats. So they give you, okay, Jimmy Butler is going to score under or over 18 points. So you pick Jimmy Butler, you go over, under, and that's your pick right there. If you pick 2, you have different options there, and it's fun and it's easy to do, not complicated. You don't have to go too crazy for it. So thank you for asking. It's 5, like you guys see it right there written, 5 FIVE, and you guys will get a 100% match on your deposit. So our friend Good Deeds goes with the Rockets. Jose is laughing with Jennifer. If Kelly Olynyk plays good, we'll win. If not, we'll go to overtime. Can we please trade for Julius Randle? He had a good game against Bam the other day. No Wood. Bam should have a great game today. Duncan hasn't been making the three. That's true. I like the Sedano's idea of going to Thaddeus Young, but doesn't he have beef with Bam during the Olympic tryouts? That was a long time ago, so that shouldn't be a problem. That was what 2016 was the last time we had the Olympics. So was it? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't remember now, but I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. Or was it 2018? Now I have the doubt. I'm not sure. Okay, so use the promo code 5 in PricePicks.com and get a 100% match in your deposit. We'll show you. Let's go ahead and show you how to do it. So you go to PricePicks, so you guys know what we're talking about. You go to PricePicks.com. I'm gonna share here the screen with you guys, so you guys can see how the page looks like. You go to PricePicks.com. You have to, of course, register before you start playing. Here you go. Sign up, and we'll match your deposit up to $100. So go ahead and do it. If you put 100 in, you put 100 in, you get 200 to play. So why not? Go ahead and sign in and start playing and have fun. Here's what we're talking about. The picks. You pick NBA there, and you go and pick whatever player you want for the night. So it's easy, and it shouldn't take you too long to actually make a pick. Boom, we're winning tonight. I mean the Team USA, not Olympics. Yes, you're right. It was in the World Cup when they lost to France. That it was a team mainly made up by Celtics players at that point. So yes, I now remember what you're talking about. It wasn't the Olympics. It was the World Cup organized by FIBA. So yes, thank you very much. When Pop was the coach, yes, that's the same one we're talking about. I hope Jimmy can improve his three like Jason Kidd did at some point. Thank you, Heat Nation 333 for commenting, and our friend our our friend Adam is gonna say he'd win by 11. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. I do have a couple of videos here before we go. And let's listen to what Jimmy Butler had to say about last game against the New York Knicks. So this is what he said right after that win that gave the Miami Heat their 3-game winning streak that they have right now.
And with that, we'll start with Ira Winderman.
Jimmy, the way you guys played the game today, especially winning it at the foul line and sort of grinding it out, is that sort of say something about who this team has become, that you just managed to find a way after those games maybe got away at the start of the season?
Yeah, it's all about finding a way to win. There's different ways of doing it in this league, and I think we're getting comfortable, but in a good way, not in a bad way. We just got to figure out to continually win games, close games. Maybe if we're up by a little bit, win those too. But like I said, at the end of the game, I feel like we're moving in a good direction.
Tyler Tuesday, is that why you decided to step back, kick the ball out to him, and even though he wasn't shooting that well, just because it's a Tyler Tuesday, figured it had to go in?
No, I got so much confidence in him. Always have, always will. I say it all the time. He's a hell of a player. He's going to be a very important piece to this organization for a long time. And I trust him when the game's on the line, not on the line. If he's open, he's got to have the ball.
I mean, there were times today where when you weren't in the game, it really started to go south. And I know you try to spread it around. You obviously finished just shy of a triple-double. But are there times when you realize, hey, this team needs me a little more? I've got to do a little more, sort of carry the team in that third quarter and help set up the finish. Thank you.
I get a good feel of what my guys need me to do. If I'm not doing my job, they'll tell me. The coaches will tell me. I just got to make sure that we win. Like I always say, I got so much confidence in the group that we have. And we got a special group that know how to play. And no matter what, we're gonna win, we're going to lose. It's going to be together. I can guarantee you that. But let's hope that we get more wins and losses.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Next, we have Tim Reynolds.
Hey, Jimmy. The Heat-Knicks rivalry 20 years ago, I mean, you were a kid, obviously, but how much do you – I mean, they played a lot of games like you guys played tonight. How much do you enjoy these games? These games are in the 90s, these games that get into the mud. How much do you like those?
And I enjoy every game that I get the opportunity to play. Myself, I come from, and so many guys on this roster. it's a blessing to be in this position, to be an NBA player going up against whoever. I don't look at any other game any differently. Like, I'm going out there, I'm competing, I want to win. It's a blessing just to be able to play on this stage.
And when you got, I mean, I think it was just 5 days ago, I think it was just 3-4 games ago, you guys came out of the locker room and I think everybody repeated the same line. We've got to play for each other. We've got to play for each other. You guys are going out on the road for 12 days. Can't really leave the hotels a whole lot. Like, all you have is you guys for the next 2 weeks. How much is that going to help further this process of playing for each other and coming together the way you were last year?
It's going to help. We're going to be together. Off the floor, obviously, on the floor, duh. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out a way to win some of these games on the road. I want to win all of them, to tell you the truth. I think we're capable of it. But we're really going to see what we're made of. We're really going to see how tough we are, how resilient we are. And when things aren't going our way, how are we going to handle it?
Thank you, Jimmy.
Next, we have Cooper Moorhead.
Jimmy, over these last, the week, 10 days or so, there's been really good moments for the offense, really good moments for the defense. Are there any specific areas where you feel like you've seen the most progress, or are you really just carrying whether or not you pull the game out or not?
I just care about winning. Good defense, good offense, bad, whatever. Just find a way to win the game. But I like how hard we're playing. I think we could still go up another notch, another level. And second efforts, getting the ball when it's on the floor, whenever it's in the air. I think that's who we are supposed to be, who we say that we are. And we just got to get back to playing incredibly hard. And we're going to have to win some games just because we play hard.
Next, we have Clay Ferraro.
Hey, Jimmy, Bam said that he knew you weren't hurt at the end there, seriously, because he said if you were actually hurt that you would have gotten up and tried to walk it off. What does that say about your acting ability, and also the fact that he said that, hey, that kind of helps keep this team loose in those tight moments like that at the end of games?
I mean, I've studied Mark Wahlberg and how he acts so incredibly well. And I've taken a few pointers. But for my guys, they got to know that everything's going to be okay. Like, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to joke around, because that's what we out here playing for. Yeah, we want to win, but never forget to have fun, smile, and enjoy the situation that you're in. They know, push comes to shove, I'll take the blame for everything. I'll shoot the game winning shot and miss it and be like, I got to do better. So I'm never worried. And up 2, down 2, when the game's on the line, with the group of guys that we have, everything's okay. We'll find out a way to win.
Next, we have Christos Saltes.
Hello, Jimmy. Congratulations on the win. What is the main difference and the main improvement on your game in the last 3 games? And how important for you is to set the tone on the road trip with these 3 wins?
It's very important to set the tone, not just me, everybody. Starting 5, the bench guys, hell, the coaches as well. But, I mean, I like to think that I've been playing the same way for a very long time. Nothing's changed. I'm passing the ball to the open guy. I shoot the ball whenever I'm open. I take a couple bad shots. I get a couple turnovers. I play the same way.
All right, Jimmy, that's it. Thank you.
I'm out.
All right, that was Jimmy Butler right after the game they won against the New York Knicks a couple of nights ago. So this is the starting lineup for tonight: Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn. Before we go, we're going to leave you guys with what Bam Adebayo had to say the other day right after that win against the Knicks.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get
Christos.
All right, we're going to get started with Ira Winterman.
Wow.
Sorry, Bam. Any game shows the toughness of a team. I would assume it would be one where the game is just won by pounding your way to the foul line. How important was it for you guys that this was going to be the kind of game, again, like Spo said, ground and pound, you and Jimmy just going to bull your way there, and even if the points came one at a time, so be it?
Man, that was a great win. That's one of those wins where you just find something within yourself and just you gotta let that go. I feel like it was one of those things where everybody had to get uncomfortable at the end of the game to get a stop, rebound, you know, and then going on the other hand, how to concentrate and make free throws.
And then just a game like this also where it came to sort of making plays like this early in the season, you played teams tough and couldn't pull it out at the end. What's it like to have a couple of these in a row, even the Sacramento game, to start getting the other side of the ledger as you pull up in the standings and show that you can win with grit at the end? Thank you.
Just keep building, man. You know, this team is built off grit. You know, that's what we best our culture off of, you know, winning games in the mud. And we've been winning them in the mud.
All right, next up, we have Cooper Moorhead.
Hey, Bam, and you know the offense has had its moments, the defense has had its moments. These last week or so, the home stretch, and then the one game up in New York, and then tonight. Where do you think the team has made the most progress?
Yeah, I would say overall, our turnovers are down. We get to the free throw line more. I would say the biggest thing is turnovers. You know, that's the biggest thing for us because, you know, if you turn the ball over, you can't get offense, and then they just get easy baskets because of transition. So I would say turning the ball over is our the biggest thing you notice. How many turnovers do we have today as a team? 12. There you go. You know, in the beginning of the season it was 22.
All right, next we have Christos Saltes.
Hello, Bam. Congratulations on the win. Third straight win, second win in a closed game. What it means about your mentality and how big boost you get from that?
Got grit. You know, we're getting to that point where, you know, we can win close games, and we've been showing it. And you know, we just got to keep chipping away to try to become like a perfect team to where we can play 48 minutes of Heat basketball the right way.
All right, next up we have Clay Ferraro.
Hey, Bam, you have this gritty win, this intense win, and then you have this moment that kind of ended up lighthearted there where Jimmy's on the floor. It looks like he may be hurt, and then he's kind of peeking out over his eyes. And at what point did you know he was okay? And what did you think watching all that?
Mo, he's a big kid. That's all I can say about that. That situation, he's just a big kid. Like everybody knew it. That's why we was all laughing because we knew. First of all, if Jimmy was really injured, he's not peaking. If Jimmy's really injured, everybody know he's trying to get up and trying to walk it off. So the fact that he was down there for so long, just being Jimmy, you know, I feel like that's one of those things like one of the course of the game, it lightens the mood. You know, everybody gets a break, a mental break from being serious for like 30 seconds, and then we lock back in.
Next we have Tim Reynolds.
Hey, Bam, I'm sorry I missed the first however many questions you've answered.
What are you doing, bro?
I apologize. I'm working up here. I'm working.
Like, did you have somebody else? Like, is that what you're telling me?
I'm sorry?
Were you interviewing somebody else, is what you're telling me?
I may or may not have been listening to Derrick Rose. I apologize.
Noted.
My bad. Don't do that. The level of confidence you guys are going out on the road with now after winning these three. I mean, does it almost feel like night and day to where you guys were a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, night and day. Definitely night and day. You know, we went from having 22 turnovers to tonight having 12. The last game having what, 14? 13, 14. So, you know, in the beginning, like I said, we had 22 turnovers, and can't win like that. So for us to keep our turnovers down has been the best thing for us.
When you got that jumper, I think the one that hit the back iron and then dropped, and you kind of like threw up your hand. Yeah, you did that. The stick-to-itiveness tonight wasn't easy by any stretch. What's that say about you guys that there was a lot of fight? Even when things weren't going great, there was a lot of fight.
We got grit. We never give up. You know, one thing about the guys in our locker room, man, we always try to give us a chance to win. And that's throughout the whole game. No matter if we're down 15, you know what I'm saying, down 30, we still try to see light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how the game's going. So, we was down 12 and we still had that light at the end of the tunnel though. We can do this. We can get this win.
Thank you.
Next, we have Anthony Chang.
Hey, Bam. I know it's not a surprise that obviously Jimmy's making a positive impact, but today he was a plus 25 in a 2-point win. How much different than the feel when he was on the court? Sorry about that. And what went wrong when he wasn't on the court tonight?
Man, that's an all-star. I mean, that speaks for itself. I shouldn't have to explain that. It's an all-star over there. It's obviously going to be different when he's off the court and on the court. He's Jimmy Butler for a reason. Like, he's an all-star.
Next, we have Mateo Mjorga.
Hi, Bam. Recently, when asked about the All-Star game, LeBron, Kawhi, and Giannis seemed to have contempt for the idea of playing it this year. What are your thoughts on having the game this season? Thank you.
It's up to the older players. I ain't got no say so. They ain't gonna listen to me. I'm a one-time all-star. They're gonna listen to the dudes with, the Jimmy Butlers, the LeBrons. My opinion don't matter. So let them handle that.
Next, we have Andres Lopez.
Thank you. Bam, I just want to start by saying that my question was very similar to that. I think your opinion does matter as someone who has been an all-star. But that being said, today you guys had a different rotation in terms of the starting lineup. We saw Kendrick Nunn join the starting lineup for tonight's game. Is it that you guys are still getting it together, trying to find what starting lineup works best? Or because of tonight's win, do you feel like this is really what clicked? And are you guys ready to hit the ground running with new starting lineups? Or are you still testing it out? What's it looking like for you guys?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. That's above my pay grade. That's an Eric Spoelstra question. I can't control dudes' minutes. I can't control the starting lineup or the rotation. So, I'm just here trying to help get wins. That's about it. I can't really dictate the rotation. So, when has Spo done media already?
Yep.
Never mind then. I can ask him tomorrow for you. But that sounds like a plan.
All right, Bam, that's it. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter, people.
All right, that was Bam Adebayo right after the game they won against the New York Knicks. And thank you guys for all your comments. We've been reading all of them. Bam Adebayo tonight. Bam 40 points. Hopefully that's the case. Sergin, thank you for sending your messages. And once before we go, one last time, this is the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn, the same one they used against the New York Knicks a couple of nights ago. So thank you very much for joining us during the pregame show tonight. And we'll see you, remember, right after the game with the post-game show here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel.